nga agahon. Coming to you live from Numancia, Aklan in Western Visayas in the Philippines. Let me make sure I'm online here because sometimes I'm having my morning cup of tea. I'm still drinking green tea. My choice of drink right now is green tea. Green tea. Let's see here. All right. I don't know what's going on here. Let me see. Let me try this. Oh, I see one. I see one. So I think we're good. I think we're good. I see one person. All right. All right. I just finished my morning walk. I got done early. I noticed that the sun is starting to rise sooner now here in the Philippines. It starts getting light now around 5:30. Before it doesn't really start getting light till closer to 6 a.m. Now it's currently it's 6:42 a.m. here, but I've noticed that there's a change because now we're into the summer season here. Hey, aloha Derek from Kaneohe, Hawaii. Derek and I was chatting earlier already because he's a big baseball fan like I am. He's a Cubbies fan, uh, the Chicago Cubs, and I'm a Dodger fan. But I just like baseball. Baseball's my thing, you know. So they were playing each other. The Cubbies were playing the Pirates. Actually went extra innings. A good game, but unfortunately, the Cubbies couldn't pull out the game. But still a great game. Still a great game. Lowell, hey Lowell, kumusta? Mabuti ako, Lowell. Yesterday was a fun day for Dazzle and I. We spent the day with Daniel, and then we also went to JP's apartment because Daniel wanted to check out JP's apartment, two bedroom, one bath apartment, furnished apartment at La Casa Española. So we checked that out. And then we decided to go get some frozen yogurt, because frozen yogurt is actually not common here in the Philippines. Actually, here in Calibo, I think Iyagi Cafe in the whole town of Calibo, they are the only ones that have frozen yogurt, and they you get to put the toppings that you want, like fresh mango, blueberry, strawberry, uh, chocolate, just a bunch of toppings, and you get to put three toppings on a large frozen yogurt, and it's 180 pesos, so $3 for like a good size frozen yogurt with three toppings. So that was fun. That was fun, and then Daniel actually ordered a pizza from them. I've never had their pizza at Cafe Yagi, but what caught Daniel's eye was they have a brick oven, a fire brick oven. So Daniel said, "Ooh, man!" It's like so. He ordered the pizza, and he said it's the best pizza he's had in the Philippines. And Daniel's been here now for over a month now because we had to renew his tourist visa. No problems at all with his renewal or tourist visa here in Calibo. He's been staying. He landed in Cebu City. He's been staying in Cebu City, and then when we renewed his tourist visa, first renewal, it was for good for 30 days, 4,160 pesos, about $60 was the first renewal. We were in and out of there in like 10 minutes. It was so quick. Nobody, like I said before, nobody ever's there at the immigration office in Calibo. Even the people I know, Michael from that Philippines side, he comes to Calibo to get his tourist visa renewed because it's so easy here. But God bless my brother Lowell. God bless. Joe Cano, good morning, brother Gino. Hey, good morning, Joe Cano. Hello, Derek and Lowell. Hello, Joe. God bless, Derek. Me, dude. Yeah, for me, baseball is like my favorite sport of all because for me, it's still the closest to a purist game. I gotta keep an eye on that. On Kal-El, I'm babysitting Kal-El this morning, and he's like eye to eye with Totoy. They're not fighting. Kal-El's curious. Yeah, Totoy sleeps under our couch here, Totoy's bed, and so Kal-El's checking him out. Let me show you Kal-El. Kal-El is actually growing up. He's not that big. Yeah, he weighed in but a couple of days ago for his final pneumonia, and he was 1.9 kilos. So he's about 4 pounds. But as you can see, he's a really sweet boy. He's like he loves his daddy. All right, just stay here. Don't be near near Totoy because Totoy might get mad at you. Yeah, for me, baseball. To me, I love baseball. To me, because it's still, I think, the purest game. American football. Once in a while, I'll still watch it, but the referees kind of have a big impact on the game. Basketball's the same way. Referees, they stop the game. Review and all that. Baseball to me is still a pure game. It's like yeah, you got to know how to hit the ball. You got to know how to pitch the ball. Got to play defense. It's like that's why baseball is my favorite sport. Hey, Daniel, there he is. And Daniel told me that the pizza, Daniel, he said that the pizza was awesome. Margarita pizza with real mozzarella, right? Real mozzarella. Howdy and good morning to all of the Panay posse. Still a long way to oh yes, very long way. I mean, it's like we played like 13 games. There's like what 147 147 games left for the year. But Max Muncy, 3 home. I know, man, that was just awesome. Max Muncy, 8-7. The Dodgers won on the bottom of the ninth. Max Muncy on his third home run, walk-off home run. Incredible day for Max Muncy yesterday. Yeah, Diaz, the trumpet guy, our reliever blew the save yesterday. All right, repent. All right. There's Zolts. Now baseball has the eight. I know that's a pretty new. They instituted the challenge thing this year, but I think it's still efficient. The challenge it goes fast. When I'm watching an NBA game, sometimes they challenge the call. It takes forever. It stops the game. Sometimes 2 3 minutes. It's like with baseball, at least they're pretty quick at it with the replay. Hey Bry said hi. All right. Got my visa renewal faster than I get my fast food. That's funny. That's funny, Daniel. That's funny. You get your visa renewal was faster than fast food in the US. That is funny. LOL. LOL. All right, the weather. The weather. I always start with the weather. Uh, it was cooler this morning when I walked. I would say it felt like it was 70 degrees, 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Right now it's 73 degrees Fahrenheit, but the sun is coming out now. This sun is, and it's intense. Once the sun comes out here, like it's like so bright, gets really hot, triple digits now during the day. By 10 a.m., it'll be like 100 degrees or over here in Numancia, Aklan. Mm. Pag-asa. No, there is like a tropical cyclone, but it's outside. It's outside of the Philippine area of responsibility. Derek was actually telling me it'll probably go north of the Philippines, so it might not even enter the PAR, the Philippine area of responsibility. So, no tropical cyclone, no typhoon at the moment. Metro Manila, the rest of the country, partly cloudy, cloudy skies with isolated rain showers for the entire Philippines. That's going to be our weather pretty much the next 2 months here. So once in a while, you'll see brief rain, but not often. Not often. We're like almost in drought conditions now here in the Philippines. As a matter of fact, I'm going to report on my news items. A couple of big fires that happen, and that happens unfortunately in the Philippines. during the summer months, we get like these massive fires, some wildfires, grass fires, and then in the cities, unfortunately, the in the Metro Manila, because everything's so jam packed in Metro Manila, the poorer areas, they're like light material made of wood, and then sometimes the fire department can't get to them. Trucks can't get to them. There's not many of those fire hydrants like in America. You got fire hydrants. They have them, but not many. They still have to rely on trucks. And if you've been to Metro Manila, sometimes the fire trucks can't even get through the traffic. So the fire just grows so fast in Metro Manila because you have a lot of housing areas still there that are made of wood, light material, patchwork material. It's like so this is kind of like fire season here in the Philippines. The dollar to Philippine peso exchange rate today, right now, I'm looking at it, 59.88. So kind of starting to creep up again to 60, to 60. All right, let me start doing my news. I got a lot of news items, a lot going on in the Philippines, man. With all the oil crisis, energy crisis, now the summer, the fires, man, all kinds of stuff happening here in the Philippines. I'm gonna start though. Last night, James, right? James from James and Karen's Adventure. He calls me. James always video calls me. So it's like, Dazzle and I were actually on with my sister. My sister from Houston, Texas, had sent us a balikbayan box. That's like the second balikbayan box we've gotten in 2 weeks. Daniel's balikbayan box. My sister's balikbayan box. We're like, I think we're gonna be okay with the oil crisis. We got a lot of food, man. I can't even find storage now for all the food, the potatoes, the box potatoes, the mac and cheese. We got chocolates. My sister, I haven't had these chocolate payday, not common here in the Philippines. She sent a whole bag of payday, and then I also don't see a lot of like almond joy. And my sister knows I like I try to limit chocolates, but sometimes you got that craving for chocolate. So I do like payday and almond joy or some of the chocolates I like. So we got Dazzle got like 6 bags of M&M. So I think we're set. We're set for the crisis. We can hunker down in our canned goods. My sister sent me chili. She sent ham. We're good. We're gonna be we can handle the crisis here in the Philippines. But the thing I'm gonna start the news. Like James, like calls me. It's like, whoa, dude, my phone started ringing. We were on the phone. My sister. He goes, dude, did you see? Looks like there's a rocket launch. I was like, rocket launch? I was like, yeah, check out Kat's post on Facebook. Kat, that Philippines Life, Michael Smith's partner, Kat, she posted. It looks like a rocket, and I don't know if the Philippines has any rockets, but I further research, it looks like it's a rocket launch in China, but it was visible here in the Philippines. Many people start posting on Facebook last night, and then I watched the video that I mean, Cat took the video right there on Rojas on Bye Bye Beach, and it was bright. You could see like the bright light. Yeah, it looked like a rocket launch. So I'm sure we'll find out more news. I tried to go in the news this morning, but uh, they haven't really announced what official. Nobody can figure out what it was, but it was really bright. It was clear skies last night, so you could really see it. Like, of course, people's got all these conspiracy theories already on Facebook. Like, Derek says the typhoon going to go over Guam. Okay, thank you, Derek. Yeah, it's like that's why I was saying even before when I was when you shared that told me about Westpac's video. I was thinking we normally don't get a typhoon like April, May, maybe towards the end of June. That we'll start getting typhoon season, but usually. April and May here. Pretty dry here in the Philippines. Good Sunday morning, Philippines. Great day, Panay Pasi. Right on, right on. All right. One. Daniel having C2 lemon and green tea. All right, all right. Daniel, like he's trying all the different drinks here, like green tea drinks, and a lot of the green tea here that comes in the plastic bottle, like cold drinks. They have different flavors, like lemon, the London. It's like a variety calamansi flavor. I'm sure. It's like a very good drinks here, and Daniel's trying them all. That's a good one, Daniel. Breakfast, Daniel. All right. Hey, Ryan AP. Long time, brother. Thank you. Hey, JP. There's JP. We went and ate. We took JP to Iyaki Cafe for some frozen yogurt. And JP, I knew he passes that place often because when he goes to the Esplanade to Lambingan Beach, and he said, I didn't even know that there's a cafe there. Expat Live Philippines. Good morning, Gino Dazzle, Dodger fans. All right, all right. Lowell, morning, JP. God bless. Happy to see you, Vaughn and JP. Well, it's starting to warm up here. I have the fan on, but man, it's starting to warm up here. It's no joke. I'm not joking when I tell you guys that it gets hot here pretty quick. Might not even be like 10 the normal. By 9 a.m. it's already hot here because the sun is just so intense. Oolong tea is good for you. All right. I know I've had oolong because there's a lot of milk tea places here, Derek. Milk tea is very popular, and you don't have to have milk on your tea. You can just strictly tea. And I know I've had oolong tea before. I've tried just about all the teas. Hey, Joel, good to see you. Good to see you, Joel. And Eileen are watching because it's too expensive to drive. It's the same here. It's the same here. Joel, it's like too expensive to drive anywhere here also. That was a Chinese rocket launch. That's what we figure. That's what I figured too because James was like, dude, the Chinese like launch a missile. I was like, what? Launch a missile? We were like, it's a rocket launch. So he was so excited to share the news. So I was like, yeah, let me go get on there. Let me look for that video. And I was watching the video, and it did look, yeah, like a Chinese rocket launch. Looks similar to Starlink launches when we see from Arizona. Save me, yes, definitely, Joel. You got a Panay Posse hat for sure, for sure. Uh, uh, JP was already talking about ordering more. Yeah. He had ordered 10 Panay Posse hats, but we need more. We need more. So definitely, he's already thinking of ordering more hats. Hey, Daniel, same here. Captain Ray, Captain Ron. Maybe that guy wearing flip flops. This was a big one, man. I mean, a lot of different areas in the Philippines posted on Facebook. Like I said, Cat from That Philippines Live on Bye Bye Beach. It was like, man, it felt like it was right in front of her. On the video, it's like. I just got back from my morning walk. All right, JP, good deal, good deal. 5.4 kilometers today. That is awesome, man. That is awesome. I walked by Yagi twice. Oh, nice, nice. So you walked the other way. Because JP's been walking to the Calibo Numancia Bridge and then back to La Casa Española. Today, he walked the other way, headed to Lambingan Beach. That's a great walk, man. That's a great walk, man, JP. You're gonna wear out your shoes, man. You're gonna have to get you some nice walking shoes, JP. Team Melker, hey Team Melker. Morning, afternoon here in the U.S. Hopefully, travel won't be impeded in 3 weeks when I fly out of the Philippines to the Philippines. I have a layover in LAX. I hear they are canceling some domestic flights in the Philippines. They are canceling it, limiting it, reducing the flights, like even for Katiklan. Then later on in the evening flights, they're cutting down on flights because not many. Usually Katiklan, Boracay Airport, they get 40 plus a day flights coming into Boracay Airport. and there's been a reduction, and the planes itself when they land, it's not full. It's like of course the people that have booked their vacation months ago, a lot of them are still taking the vacations, but the ones, usually you get people last minute, hey, this is the weekend, let's head to Boracay. That's not happening. A lot of people, like, same thing, Joel was saying, everybody's staying home. I'm staying home, because like gas prices are still high here. It's supposed to drop some this coming Tuesday, like today's Sunday, so 2 days from now it's supposed to drop some, but I don't think it's going to be a big drop. I'm hearing like the rumors are like 5 peso drop for the gasoline, and that's not much, because right now it's like at 105, 106. So it's still going to be triple digit gasoline price, and diesel. I think they were talking about 10 peso drop, but diesel has more than doubled in price here. So we'll see. I'll report on Tuesday for sure. I'll report on Tuesday and see how it goes with the gas prices. But they are reducing flights. The airline, there's like, I'm hearing shortage of jet fuel too. Jet fuel shortage. So that's why some of your flights, domestic flights, are being canceled. The airlines, if they're not going to make any money, they're not going to spend the money, I'm sure. I'll need to get from Cebu to Bacolod. Maybe yeah, the ferry's fine. If you can't do it by plane, if something happens, I know James and Karen's Adventures, they've done that trip many times, Cebu to Bacolod, then Cebu to Leyte, then Bacolod to Iloilo. Yeah, that's still going. That's still going. They have raised the prices. They have raised the prices with those ferries. That walk is close to 3 miles, JP. Vaughn, I have been adding distance to my walk every few days and picking up the pace. I know JP shared me the pace. I was like, dang, man, you're walking fast, JP. Vaughn, the Chinese technologically is getting up there, getting up there. Captain Ron, dang, JP, that will get you into shape to catch more fish. Yeah, no, he's gonna be in great shape to catch fish, man. JP from Daniel. Expat, Sunny and Leyte. Last truckload coconut this morning. Oh, okay. I couldn't figure out. It's a new name. It's a new name for Beluz. That's right. That's right. I couldn't put it together, Beluz. My brother in Leyte. Now I can. When you mentioned payday for the community, I knew it was you. I knew it's my friend Beluz in Leyte. All right. Joel Kimpo. We will soon have ours. Derek, have you tried Crocs? Crocs for GP. I'm sure he's like saying that's common here in the Philippines. Imitation Crocs, not the original Crocs here, Derek, are expensive, man. But there's plenty of imitation Crocs here in the Philippines. Father Sarah Love. Good morning. All right. Good. Indonesia. All right. All right. JP salute. All right. Daniel, don't walk out of our posse lives. Daniel, Gino brought me into the Philippines. I will never forget the posse. All right. Thank you. Thank you, JP. Good morning from Phil. Vaughn. JP, health is wealth. Definitely. Health is wealth. Health is wealth. Vaughn, amen to that. Hey, Michael C., my brother in Trece Martires in Cavite. Good morning, bro. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. All right, I'm going to go to my news. I got a lot of topics to discuss here. Let me see. I'll start with the fire. I'll start with the fires that's going on. Let me see here. There was a big fire. This one, man. This one's like a big fire here in Navotas. Navotas is in the National Capital Region, Manila. It's in Manila. 40-hectare landfill. So it's a landfill caught fire. It caught fire. Erupts in Navotas, causing toxic air pollution in nearby cities. That's not a good thing. If you can imagine landfills here in the Philippines, and you don't know what they buried on those landfills, right? And here in the Philippines, It's not even buried a lot of times. When they say landfill, you're thinking it should be buried underground. There should be soil over it. A lot of times, what happens with the landfills here, it just like becomes a mountain of garbage. They have Smoky Mountain. I think a lot of people know about Smoky Mountain. It's just a big mountain of trash, basically. End up this landfill in Navotas, 40 hectares of landfill caught fire. So man, it's burning toxic stuff in the air in Manila. Unfortunately, the blaze began evening of April 10th and continue into the following day, with firefighters deploying multiple resources, including fireboats, because Nabotas is like near water. So I guess that's lucky that they're near water, that they have enough water. Thick smoke spread across nearby communities. The landfill, which had been non operational since 2025, they're not even using the landfill, so for 2025, so maybe a year or so, close to a year, they're not even using the landfill, but it caught fire. I don't know how that happened. I know, who knows? Maybe somebody started the fire. I'm sure they'll investigate it. Um, and that's kind of hard to like stop the fire, but it does sound here that emergency teams work and to fully, so I'm not sure if they've even stopped it completely, because it says here that emergency teams work to fully extinguish the fire and prevent further spread. And you know how the embers and fire, you really need rain when it's like hectares of fire. You need rain to like make sure that there's no embers or anything like that could start it again. But real unfortunate, because like man, not good with that toxic stuff in the air, man. Manila's got enough. They got enough pollution in the air. Now they got like toxic burning material from a landfill. There's another fire. This one actually caused a power outage in Pampanga. It says here, power outage hits parts of Pampanga due to grass fire, and that's going to be common here because during the the rainy season, grass here grows. I mean, over like 6 feet high. And when they're green, they're okay, right? When they're green, they're okay. But when it's dry now, they turn into like they dry up. They turn brown. It doesn't take much to like start a fire. Maybe a lightning strike or maybe somebody's cigarette. Next thing you know, it's like burning through like a bushfire. Like a grass fire. And this grass fire actually interrupted power at several areas in Pampanga. Pampanga is a big province, but because it was affecting the big transmission line is for electricity. Outage, it says here, the Mexico to Calumpit. Those are areas in Pampanga that they had to shut down the power. Affected areas. Hey, there's Leanna. There's Leanna. You got to get ready, right? Yeah, yeah, all right. I got to take Leanna to church. Mom's not here. Mom is usually Leanna's buddy to go to church at their church here in Numancia. But today I have to take Leanna to church, to their church. Affected areas in Pampanga, Apalit, Macabebe. I know all these areas too because I was stationed at Clark before. I'm familiar. I've heard of this area. Masantol, Minalin, San Simon, and Santo Tomas. So a lot of areas lost electricity because of grass fire. So not just the oil crisis, fire is also causing power outage because during the summer months here, unfortunately, more common to have power outages during the summer months because usually the electric grid can't handle all the people using their air condition. Everybody's using air condition a lot of times here during the summer because it gets so hot. All right, let me try to. I don't want to get too behind on the comments here. Exchange rate, Flyboy. I already mentioned the exchange rate earlier. Flyboy, it was let me see here, 59.88. Oh, so almost back to 60 again. And there was a let me see. I had the news about that. Let me see. Let me find it here about the dollar reserves, and I think this has an effect because with the a few weeks ago when I checked the Philippines, the reserve money here in the Philippines is American dollars. That's how they prop up the Philippine peso. A couple of weeks ago, uh, the reserves here, the money that Banco Central of the Philippines was holding was about 112 billion dollars that they were holding. It dropped. They just reported that it's now 107 billion dollars. So 5 billions in less than a couple of weeks. 5 billion was used by the Philippine Federal Reserve. I don't know the whole story, but that's a significant drop. Like with the reserve money, that's gonna affect the price of the Philippine peso. Maybe because here in the Philippines, to buy oil for the Philippines, they have to use dollars. They can't use pesos to buy gasoline, buy diesel. So that's why the Philippines really relies on a lot of those remittance from overseas, dollars being sent to the Philippines. And there's a reduction of that too because the Middle East dilemma, it's like less there's a ban right now of workers going to the Middle East. The ones that are over there, some of them, not all, very few actually, are going home to the Philippines. But definitely, I'm sure when they start reporting the numbers as far as remittance from the Middle East, it's going to be a lot lower this next few months. Excellent. Great rebranding name. Yeah, now I know. Now I remember. Expat Life Philippines. Daniel, the posse forever. I've seen the changed name of the loose on my Facebook, but I just didn't put it together because I'm watching all the names. But now I'll remember for sure. Kim Mandal, hey Gino, loved the expat get together. Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we were gonna do that again. We're gonna do that again for sure. I'm already actually setting up like a deep sea fishing expedition. Because people always telling me it's like, man, let's catch some real fish. Like let's catch some big fish. So I already have my good friend John Sparrow. He's got a big boat. He can get us a big boat. So we can fit a lot of people on that big boat. So we're just gonna have to wait for Daniel. Once Daniel completes his SRV, because we want him to be part of that. Once he's on the ground, boots on the ground here in Calibo, we'll do that. We'll make that happen. So that's gonna be the next adventure. Will be deep sea fishing here. Catches some big fish like big yellowfin tuna, barracuda, you name it. My friend John Sparrow, he knows all the fishing. He knows where to catch them because he's a commercial fisherman, hobby fisherman. He's an excellent guide here as far as fishing. The Expat Information Network continues to develop. All right, get together. Lamb chop. All right, JP saw you, lamb chop. All right, let me do. Next item I'm gonna discuss subsidy. Of course, with all the prices of gasoline high, the government here has to act because basically the tricycle drivers, jeepney drivers, they're getting hammered. They're not making any money. It's hard for them to make money. So now, starting April 15th, 3 days from now, the government here is rolling out for the public transportation, they're gonna provide a fuel subsidy. So more money coming out of the government to get the subsidy to the people here. They're gonna give jeepney drivers additional payments ranging from 40 pesos to 100 pesos per kilometer on top of their regular income. So, and then that they're gonna have to, for the commuters, it's gonna be 20% fare discount. So the government's gonna start subsidizing public transportation here to help the jeepney drivers and then also to help the people. They help the people. Several places in the Philippines already has declared a state of calamity. Oh, thanks, Leanna. Thanks for doing that. Leanna just put bags. We have to separate our garbage, paper, plastic. So I threw away the paper and the plastic, and I didn't put a bag yet. And Leanna just put it. I didn't even have to ask her. I didn't have to ask her. Leanna's really good at that. Thank you, Leanna. You're welcome. 10 o'clock, right? 10 o'clock. Be careful. Be careful with this. You should know that. JP, are people leaning toward the Panay map? Yes, I think that's what the choice is, JP. The Panay map. The Panay map is the choice as far as the hats. I want to get another order this week. They may need to order more blue hats. All right, all right. Hey, blue's our color, man. Blue's our color, man. Dodger blue, blue arrow, man. We gotta stick with blue, man. We gotta stick with blue. HD, hey, good morning, good morning. Hey, make sure that people know how to swim or enough life vests. Seas can be rough. You don't repeat of the Titanic. Yeah, we're trying to get it done before the rainy season hits. So hopefully by end of May, June, we're still okay. I think May and June we're still okay, but July, well, we're gonna have to postpone it for next year because July to December, rough seas here, typhoon season already. We don't want it to turn out to be Gilligan's Island. Go on a short tour, and next thing you know, we might be end up in Gilligan's Island, man. But for sure. My friend John Sparrow, he actually works for the mayor of Calibo. So he's an employee of the mayor. He monitors the fisheries here in Calibo. So he knows all about safety, all about life vests. He's a government employee, so it's not, we're not just gonna rent some guy off the dock. It's like, John Sparrow's a legit government worker here. Conchas. Good Sunday, everyone. Please pray. Definitely. We all need prayers. The world need prayers right now. HD. I won't worry about icebergs. Maybe a rocket. Yeah, right. Maybe a rocket falling on us. That's funny. Vaughn. Oh, thank you so much, Vaughn. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, my brother. Great reporting, Gino. News information for expats. All right, I try, man. I try. Uh, the state of calamity. It's like I guess all these cities here in the Philippines. It started with the president declaring a state of calamity or energy crisis. Now a lot of the different. Yep, there you go. Yeah, thanks. A lot of the different cities here in the Philippines are declaring it also. That way they can access money, like government money, to help the people. Baguio City, they declared a state of calamity, ongoing energy crisis. So Baguio City is already, this is summer. For people that's been here to the Philippines, Baguio City gets a lot of visitors during the summertime here. It's the summer capital of the Philippines, and they have seen a 50% drop of people going to Baguio City because the fuel prices, and also even the farmers in Baguio. Baguio supports a lot of farmers. A lot of their vegetables goes into Manila, goes into the cities below the mountain, and even that, some of the farmers are actually not planting or throwing away some of their goods because they're not making any money. If they have to like ship it down the mountain, it's better for them just to like let the some of the vegetable rot, which is terrible to hear, right? Like they're losing money, they can't sell their crops. Even when you go up to Baguio, there, I was watching a video. You can get great deals if you can drive up there. Because uh, basically they're just selling their vegetables, their produce at cost because instead of the rotting, it's like so unfortunate. So many things are. It's amazing how there's so many things here in the Philippines affected by the energy crisis, gasoline and diesel specifically. And now, the next, of course, we're expecting. I got my electricity bill the other day, but it hadn't hit yet. The March was okay. It wasn't a big change of my electricity bill. I didn't even notice a change. I think it was still 4,300 pesos. So that's about $70. So that's my normal electricity bill. But my next electricity bill, I'm expecting a spike because they're predicting like a 15% increase on our electricity bill. The places here in the Philippines that have declared a state of calamity: Baguio City, Cagayan de Oro City, Zamboanga City, Sorsogon Province, a whole province. Oh, there's Khalil. I got to double check on Khalil because he's quiet. A whole province, Sorsogon Province, declared a state of calamity. Tawi-Tawi, uh, Ajui, Iloilo, New Lucena, Iloilo. So, and I'm sure more are going to get added to that list so that they can access their government funds. Maybe a piano falling so I can use the cover and play I'll Never Let Go scene. I'll Never Let Go scene. I would not be surprised if a white van drove out on the ocean and tried to ram us out of their way. Okay, good, Khalil is sleeping. Excited to watch you all expand your fishing horizons. It's fun to watch. Slow days. Daz will catch the big one. Yeah, no, she was happy about that big fish. Gino, Dramamine a day before the posse goes on yeah, yeah. I think there's a version of Dramamine here. I'll have to look it up. I know Watson sells it. I know Watson sells it for the people that get motion sickness. I know they sell something motion sickness in Watson because I want to help senior. All right, Concha. All right, Concha. Yes, crazy. Rotting veggies. I'd take a big truck. Yes, I'm curious about the electricity coming soon. I know coming soon, right? Right. That's everybody. We're getting hints. Where everybody here is getting hints that our electricity. They are kind of warning us. I guess so that we're not in shock. That way we're not in shock when we get the. And it's not just a shortage on gasoline and shortage on diesel. There's also a shortage in LPG, the propane tanks. It's like doubled in price. The propane tanks are like skyrocketing. And if you know the Philippines, a lot of people here cook with that propane tank. So there's a shortage of that too. I already saw James, James and Karen. They're cooking with wood. They're cooking with wood. I got a stack of wood now too. That's my backup. I cook with electricity. We have that one burner right there, but I have wood stored in the back now, and we have like a clay pot that's a single. Like you can cook rice in there, you can cook everything there, and wood. That's my backup in case the power goes down. We can cook with wood. We can cook with wood here in the province, and wood here is inexpensive. Like a big bundle of wood, they tie it and everything. I bought, and it's like 40 pesos, like 75 base 70 40 pesos is 75 cents, 75 cents. So very inexpensive to get wood here. And I mean, there's trees all over here. I'm sure if we get desperate enough. Here, Peanut Butter Travels. Thank you, Peanut Butter Travels. Thanks all right. Salute, brother. Salute. Late, always in a state. Claremedy, late. That's funny. I've never heard that term. Claremedy. That's funny. Billis. From Cebu to Leyte, always double. Everyone gets paid. I'm son cooking breakfast. Son cooking breakfast. Oh yeah, yeah. With the sun, man, you might be able to cook with the sun, right? It's been so intense, man. The sun has been so intense here. All right, let me see here. I'm gonna looking at all Ayuda. Oh, I've been talking about Ayuda. I've mentioned Ayuda a lot, on my latest news reports here. Ayuda here in the Philippines, it's kind of like I would say Ayuda's like welfare. You got people here in the Philippines for peace. They're called the number four peace. And those are the people on welfare, similar to welfare. They get government assistance. Well, during this crisis, it opens up to many more people. Ayuda is a grant that the government provides to different people that will need it. And pretty much, man, tricycle drivers, jeepney drivers, you name it, they're getting ayuda. And this is coming from the Department of Social Welfare and Development, DSWD. um, they had to tighten up the rules because they were giving out 5,000 peso cash relief, about $90. $90 is what the families were getting, more people getting eligible. But that's just hard to track here in the Philippines, you know. Of course, in the Philippines, with the unfortunately with corruption here, it's hard to manage that. A lot of times when we get into like state of calamity, with typhoons, now with the oil crisis, you know, you have some people, unscrupulous people, unfortunately, that have a way of getting hold of the money that's supposed to get to the people, not getting to the right people. You know, it's like ghost people. You know, like the ghost flood project where there was no real project, but they were spending millions of pesos. Same thing kind of happens with the ayuda, with the ghost people, like people that don't exist and getting ayuda. It is what it is in the Philippines, you know. Hard to combat that. Hard to combat that here. But at least the DSWD says here, DSW, it says for drivers only. That was the focus of DSWD for now. The 5,000 peso ayuda, or the grant to like, was supposed to, they're focusing on the jeepney drivers, bus drivers, tricycle drivers. So now the DSWD, they're saying enforcing stricter payout rules. It's already strict here. Anytime you're gonna get a grant here like that, Ayuda, man, they're gonna ask you for like several IDs, fill out a form, sign your name on multiple. You know, it's not easy to get the Ayuda. And then a lot of times they set them up like at the basketball court, the community basketball covered court. Man, there's gonna be hundreds and hundreds of people there, thousands sometimes even in line to get your 5,000 pesos. I mean, it's a lot of work. So it'll take you a whole day at least, sometimes 2 days even. But they're gonna start stricter payout rules because there's been issues with like that. Like I said, it's hard to combat that here in the Philippines. People that live here, Belusi understands the dynamic here, the corruption level here is like so. But at least there's money, some money getting into the people. You know, fortunately, I guess you know there's always that those people taking advantage of the situation. Captain Ron, time to show us BBQ in the Philippines, barbecue in the Philippines. All right. You know, there's not many that do. I don't think there's anybody that does barbecue in Calibo, like a barbecue restaurant. You know, like Texas barbecue or Kansas bar. There's none of that. You know, I've not seen that. But I do barbecue. But it might be too. You know, I'll find that when it's like I'll pick a day when it's a cooler temperature. Um, I do like I do like to barbecue. Hey, Castaway Drift, Michael, the Duke of Duma. Good morning, Gino. Ayuda, aid in Spanish. All right, thank you for the help there, HD. It makes sense. Ayuda, aid to the people, aid to the people. Hey, Cast. Good morning, Expat Life. We take care of the valley, but we really take care of the elders the most. Most in the mountain up higher than us, for sure, right? You know, it's like that's one thing in the Philippines. People here take care of the elders. Respect for the elders here is very important to Filipinos. Marshall said hi. Hey, Marshall. All right. Let me see here. Then I have topics here that mostly military related. So I'm gonna hit the couple more news items here before I hit the military related. A lot of information military related to the Philippines. Um, you know, with all the you know the Philippines always high rate of graduation for nurses. Right here it says that Philippines produces top nurses but faces shortage as many leave abroad. And that's a huge problem here in the Philippines. Even Liana, you know, we plan on sending Liana to nursing school. Even Calibo. In Calibo, we got like 4 or 5 nursing colleges here in Calibo alone. Imagine that. Small town Kalibo got like 4 or 5 colleges, nursing colleges. But unfortunately, when they graduate, they might do their internship for a year here in Kalibo at St. Gabriel Hospital, Asia Pacific. But a lot of our nurses here in the Philippines, and this happens all across the nation, they go abroad. They go to the Middle East, they go to Japan, Korea, the US, Canada, because the money is good for nurses. The money is not good for nurses, unfortunately, here in the Philippines. Um, the nurses here in the Philippines, if you go to hospitals here, you'll notice two things. They're either fresh out of college, the interns, or the nurses are like older nurses. They're like in their 40s and 50s already. They've done their tour abroad and they saved enough money and they say, I'll move back to the Philippines and that little income as a nurse. So that's an issue here. It's like we're having a shortage of nurses. I mean, we're like the top producer of nurses of the world, but here we're having problems keeping them here. We're producing great nurses. The world wants the Filipina nurses because Filipina nurses are known for compassion. They care. They're dedicated to their work. They're hard workers. Even in Arizona, 7 years I worked in Arizona at St. Mary's Hospital. More than 50% of our nurses at St. Mary's was Filipinos. So and pretty much everybody knows that very good nurses that come from the Philippines. But right now, because of the shortage, they're even estimating the Philippines needs over 100,000 more nurses needed. So that's a lot of nurses, man. But we do graduate a lot of nurses, so hopefully we can find a way to make their pay better here in the Philippines. That way, they don't have to feel like they have to go abroad. All right. Hybrid cars. I saw this article about hybrid cars. Not many hybrid cars being built here in the Philippines, but now the Philippines to manufacture the first hybrid cars here in the Philippines, and they have an agreement with Mitsubishi Motors. So we're gonna see a Mitsubishi vehicle made here in the Philippines, a hybrid car made in the Philippines. So definitely gonna boost the economy here in the Philippines, job creation, export potential. Um, so looking forward to the Philippine-made Mitsubishi hybrid car that's going to be coming down the pipeline soon. And I think that's going to continue happening. It's like I'm going to segue now. I'm going to segue over to like the military portion of the news. Philippine military, not U.S., not just what's happening here in the Philippines. I think that's what's gonna happen here in the Philippines. We're already getting there. We're becoming like the military hub, like as far as like building, as far as military defense. The Philippines becomes Indo-Pacific defense hub. It's this article that I pulled. Manufacturing, manufacturing of military equipment, military gear. They're being brought here to the Philippines, so that's going to create a lot of jobs here. And those jobs, a lot of these, they're not like low-paying jobs. You're gonna have to have like engineers. You're gonna have to have like people that are technically advanced because that's what's happening. They're building like a munitions to build because what the United States is helping build here in the Philippines. This is just me, my idea, right? My thinking. It's basically to me when I look at the Philippines because of our location with China, it makes sense to for the United States to like create all like the if they can the ammunition for sure, the bullets and all that that's named. But basically, the Philippines is turning into like a unsinkable aircraft carrier because if we ever have an incident with China, you know You gotta ship all that stuff, or it's gotta be in an aircraft carrier. Whereas now what's happening in Subic, they're building the ammunitions place in Subic to supply the ammunitions here for the troops that are here, because there's American troops here in the Philippines now. All services are like here in the Philippines. So uh, and they're spreading them out. It's not just like, okay, there's a hub of like all the defense, because that's not smart, right? It's not smart to build all your where you build all your machinery to build that, because they can target that. So they're spreading them out in the Philippines here. So the factories is not just going to be in Subic, because I saw another article where the Marines, they are going to Mindanao. The Marines are going to, right there. It says Mindanao just entered the equation. How the U.S. is turning the entire Philippines into a war logistics network. So the Marines, the first ever United States Marine Corps equipment offloaded in Mindanao. Logistic milestone with deep strategic meaning. So basically, we've never used Mindanao before as far as like putting equipment there, military equipment. But now they are. They're offloading, they're storing a lot of equipment here in the Philippines, not just in Luzon, Mindanao. And I'm pretty sure, Palawan's there already. I'm sure Visayas will follow. Like I said, basically the United States is looking at the entire Philippines and say, hey, we need to preposition all our assets in the Philippines. To me, it makes the perfect sense, because when you get into a war, hopefully not. I'm not trying to be a warmonger. I'm not trying to say, but if a war does happen with China, we got all this gear here in the Philippines. It doesn't have to come from the United States. Ship here. It's already here. There's production here. There's rearmament. If you've been in the military, if you're an aircraft carrier, you might run out of missiles. You might run out of munitions on your destroyer, on your ships. You got to reload. So you can just port in the Philippines and reload all their stuff, because they're making them here. To me, that's the future. The Philippines is becoming a military defense hub. And it's not just, and we're building the ammunition. Would not surprise me, missiles, drones, all that. That's what's going to happen here. Going to employ a lot of Filipinos. Wait till all the American companies. wait till Northrop, McDonnell Douglas, all those start coming here to the Philippines. Now you're really talking about big money when those guys come here. Even this, I don't know if people know it. They're called HIMARS, HIMARS. They're basically like a rocket launcher, like a missile launcher, but multiple. It's not just one giant missile. It's like multiple missiles, and they're movable. They sit on trucks. HIMARS is coming to the Philippines. The HIMARS movable. Imagine this. It's a movable truck that can shoot many missiles, and China should be very worried, because they are coming to the Philippines. They are coming to the Philippines. HIMARS on Philippine soil. How rocket artillery is turning the first island chain into China's worst nightmare. The prospect of expanding M142 HIMARS deployment across Philippines carries weight far beyond headlines firepower. Because if you got all these battery, we already have like the Philippines buys BrahMos missiles. These missiles can hit ships in the ocean, in the West Philippine Sea. We already buy that from India. And the United States got cruise missiles. Every time the United States come here for Balikatan, they bring cruise missiles to the Philippines and they stay here. So we're already cruise missiles are already here in the Philippines, spread across the Philippines. So, like I said, I'm viewing the Philippines like as a big aircraft carrier now, from Batanes, from northern Luzon to like Clark Air Base, to like Mindanao now. You got Subic Bay. I mean, it's like, man, we are arming. America is arming the Philippines, definitely. And And the last thing, I don't want to keep talking military because I can talk all day about military. I love the military, man. I love United States military. The last thing I'm going to talk about the military. United States deploys the F-22 Raptor. That is the most advanced plane that's going to be to the Philippines. They're deploying the F-22 Raptor here to the Philippines. The America's most lethal fighter jet just landed in the Philippines. Beijing is paying attention. I would too, right? If you're the enemy, and these F-22 Raptors are landing in the Philippines, I would be worried too, right? I would be like keeping an eye on that. Um, the air superiority fighter and its deployment to Basa Air Base. Basa Air Base is north of Manila. It's like not far from Manila, actually. Basa Air Base. So now the F-22 Raptor is also here in the Philippines. So I'll end it with that. Like I said, I can keep talking about military. I love my United States military, man. So it's like I can keep talking about it, but I don't want to get too much. I don't want to. So go back here. Let me make sure here I don't miss anybody. Take care of we take care of the valley. Said I, Marshall. Hello, hello. Gino, you cooking with wood? Back up, Tetramaran. I got a stack of wood now. I got a clay pot with it's kind of like a single burner clay pot. You put the wood on the bottom, but I got a single burner electric. I got a butane one. I got a couple of butane. Just back up. Worst comes to worst. If the grid power goes out, I can still cook, right? I can still cook with wood. Dazzle done that most of her life. Heck, they're still cooking with wood in Katiklan, at mom's house. So it's nothing new to us. It's nothing new to us. But I've never cooked propane. I've never had a propane tank. Propane tanks scare me here. They blow up here. The propane tanks here. You always see somebody blowing up their propane tank inside your house. I do not want that. I do not want that. So I'll do electric. I'll do the little butane tanks, like a camping stove, like one burner camping stove, and then I'll cook with wood. The college that gets Leanna will be blessed. Yes, right. Thank you, JP. She's a great student, great leader. They will be blessed, definitely. Right now, it's down to two. We're even thinking St. Gabriel Nursing College or Aklan Polytechnic Nursing. So two. We're down to two. We're kind of, I'm interviewing people that attend there. I'm checking out the teachers. I haven't stepped foot at the colleges, but I got time. Leanna's only going to be in the 8th grade. So she's got a couple more years, a few more years here. Hit like, please. All right. Boy, going green. Really don't pay off for us. Oh, going green. Going green. Electric bike, 1,400 USD. Pile of junk. Pile of junk. Yeah. Yeah, I got a foldable bike. There. Belus, I paid like $100. It's foldable. It's got tiny tires. It's kind of hard to steer, but it gives me exercise when I ride the bike. That's all I needed. I'm not going to be traveling. I can go to the public market on my bike. It's like less than a kilometer away. So, JP, I would help if the Philippines need AR-15 M16 knowledge. Hey, man, you never know. JP. The big ammunitions place in Subic. Hey, I'm pretty sure M16 is still the weapon. I know in the Air Force, I think they still use the M16. So you never know. You never know when your skills might be needed, JP. I seen massive fuel depot being built in Philippines soon. Yes, once big money comes, better wages. They will need lots of employees, right? That's what I'm thinking, man. The big defense contractors, right? That's big money. When it's the big defense contractors, I'm sure they're gonna employ like contractors from Northrop, all those big places. They'll bring in contract, but they're gonna need local guys, and I'm sure they'll. One thing about Americans, I've been around, half my life in America, half my life here. One thing about the Americans, They will share with the locals, with the they will teach. They will teach. It's not one of those things where when China was building roads or building bridges here in the past, they bring their own construction people. I'm like, that don't make no sense. It's like they're when they were building roads here, they have a Chinese construction crew from China that they brought here. Here I know how the Americans work. I was stationed at Clark Air Base, our hospital. When we were at our hospital, we have multiple thousands of Filipino workers at Clark Air Base. 20,000 Filipino workers at Clark Air Base at one time. So I know how Americans work. They want to teach. They want to like share the information because we're allies. We're supposed to be allies, right? You're supposed to trust your ally, man. You got it, JP. Philippines as a FOB, forward operating base. Yeah, uh, I know the Filipinos get sensitive with the base though. Anything with all the places here, HD, it's all Philippine bases. I know that's always like you got to be careful with that. It never gonna be another American base here in the Philippines. But the mention of base, like I know what you mean about a fob, like but anything to mention like a U.S. base, no, that's not gonna happen. All the bases are Philippine bases, and the Philippines is putting in a lot of money on the bases. They're $60 million, $70 million to improve the runway, to build dormitories. Because if American troops are going to be here, and they are here in the Philippines at several Filipino bases, Americans, and you got to have nice facilities. You got to have nice dining facilities, sleeping quarters, a gym. It's like Derek, Dodger game. Yeah, yeah, at 9 here. I know it's 9 a.m. Dodger against the Rangers. An unsinkable aircraft carrier was a good analogy by Gino. Oh, thank you. All right, right. To me, I'm thinking, right. It's like, it's at least it won't sink. If they target an aircraft carrier and it sinks, you lose it. Here, you can rebuild. It's like and if you spread them around the Philippines, it's not. You don't want to have like a military hub in Subic Bay, and if they drop something in Subic, it destroys all your. You want to spread them out all across the Philippines. That way, multiple targets for China. Aircraft carrier with beaches. Yeah, tropical green and mango shakes and mango shakes. JP. Basa Air Base is close to Clark. All right, all right. I know it's in Luzon. I know Basa Air Base is. Hello, good morning. Hello. I couldn't really connect it since I spent 4.5 years aboard an aircraft carrier. Bases can provide more. Even the exchange relate more to SM malls. Hey, Pinay Heart. All right, from Oceanside, Brother Gino. Hello, Brother Gino. So I hit all the topics, the defense topics there. So I'm good. I'm good there. I'm gonna delete all this already. That way I don't report. See, when I pull the article, I save it on my laptop. I have a live stream folder. That way I don't repeat it again. That way I'll find more news items here in the Philippines. I'll finish it off. I have a couple more here. Then I'll finish it off here. Uh, I guess they're bringing back in Katiklan. Katiklan is the gateway to Boracay. It's called Boracay Airport, but it's actually in Katiklan and Nabasaklan. But starting July, they're bringing back the direct flights. We hadn't had these flights from China in a while. Royal Air is the company. So now, starting July, there's going to be from Nanjing, from Shanghai, and then also from Incheon in Korea, and then Taipei. So starting July, they have these three weekly flights for each of this. Katiklan to Nanjing 3 times a week. Katiklan to Incheon, direct flight 3 times a week. Katiklan to Shanghai, and then Katiklan to Taipei. Hey, I might visit Taipei now. It's a direct flight. I'm sure it's like a 1 hour flight to Taipei. I've always wanted to check out Taipei. I haven't been there yet. That's one of the Southeast Asian countries that I haven't hit yet. And it'd be a one direct flight from Katilan. Be easy flight for me to take. So starting July, direct flights from China to Katilan, direct flights from Taipei, Taiwan, and then Korea, Incheon. More tourists for Boracay. More. Uh, I do notice that every year, uh, they don't. The Chinese, the foreigners from Southeast Asia. Maybe the season is different. They don't come here during our summer. Our summer is like March, April, May. I see more of like the Southeast Asian tourists that coming from those countries. Usually they start coming here in July, August, September during like the typhoon season. You know, they're the most guests in Boracay Island. I've noticed that over the years. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting how that works. Maybe because it's maybe their summer. Maybe it's their summer. July is their summer. It's strange that I am not getting notification recently any of your live. I just do maybe at one time I was thinking maybe I should schedule my live stream, but a lot of times now stuff happens. Sometimes I'm walking, it's a longer walk. I get a phone call from my sister. So when I schedule something, it's something might interrupt it, and so I just kind of go online. I try to do like every other day. Like I'll do a live stream today. Tomorrow I won't do one. Then the following day I'll do it. And I tried to do it. When Leanna was in school, I was doing it like after I drop her off, like after 7. Now if I'm awake at 6, after I've done my walk at 6:30, between 6:30 to 7:30, I just start the live stream. Easier for me to like do it random than trying to schedule it. I don't like schedules. I don't like schedules because I feel like it's work when it's scheduled. When it's unscheduled, I can decide, hey, I'm not doing a live stream today, or hey, I'll start the live stream, or I'll just do an hour live stream, or I'll do a 2 hour live stream. Close U.S. bases in ungrateful Europe and open mutual support facilities in grateful. That's what I was thinking. That's what we're thinking alike, JP. It's like, to me, to me, being military, we got military bases in some of these countries in Europe. To me, it's kind of offensive that they won't allow us to leave, use the bases that were there. We're providing troops in their country, and they won't even let us fly missions out of that base. To me, it's like, to me that's not right. It's time to leave some. Just my opinion. I try not to get political, but if we're not getting anything from some of those European countries, I think it's time for us to bail out of there and go to countries like the Philippines that appreciate the Americans' help. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Pinay, just hit the bell again. Reset it. Take bell off, then the bell all. Oh, thank you there. Believe Expat Life in the Philippines. That makes sense. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Regina. All right. You're welcome. I have one last topic I'm going to discuss as far as the news here. And this actually applies to expats. This really applies to uh, every single expat that's living here in the Philippines. Hopefully, you won't experience this, but I have known expats, even here in my community. I have one of my expat neighbor here that got in trouble with our board of directors during a meeting. During a meeting here, we have like a HOA meeting here, and this expat said inappropriate word to like one of the officers, right, in public where people are witnessing. Called her not a good name. I'm in the meeting, so I heard it. So I'm a witness. You got to be careful with that. When you say something offensive to a Filipino, especially this one is a Filipina, the guy, it's a guy that said a bad word to the Filipina and heard it. He ended up being in front of the barangay. Here in the Philippines, very important to know for expats here. The barangay captain is like a very powerful person in your barangay. Anywhere you live here in the Philippines, there's going to be a barangay captain. For me here in Barangay Huyao, our community here, we belong to Barangay Huyao. Is Captain Efren is my barangay captain. The barangay captain is kind of like uh, he mediates everything. He's almost kind of like he has the authority on everybody because if there's a dispute between neighbor, if you've got a complaint against anybody here or against an expat or anybody, the first step before you go to the police station, you have to go to your barangay captain. Uh, it's kind of like where mediation happens. It's kind of like where they try to resolve everything in the barangay level because we don't have many police even here in Numancia. We have like a police station, but they don't have a lot of employees. And there's several barangays here in Numancia, so they can't handle the amount of people going to the police station. And then a lot of times the police station will tell you anyway, have you seen the barangay captain? And they're not polite. Police and sometimes they're not polite. Have you seen the? They'll get mad at you if you hadn't resolved it. In the Air Force, in the military, it's kind of like we resolve everything in the lowest chain of command before you elevate it to like a higher command. Everything you want to try to resolve any issues like at the lowest level. That way it doesn't get big. And that's what the barangay captain ends up doing. It's like you actually, if you have a complaint with anybody, you tell the barangay captain. The barangay captain is gonna send for that person. Both of you, like that, like what happened to the HOA meeting. The person that got offended, she went to the barangay captain. The expat had to show up in the barangay captain, and they have to sit with the barangay captain. Like I said, he's not a judge. He's not supposed to be judging. He's supposed to be like a mediator between the two parties. The two parties. Yeah, being called to the barangay, the village, the barangay. Well, I should have said that, BJ. Barangay is kind of like the village, our community, our village, and barangays could be a lot of people. Like I would say, in our barangay Huya, I would say we probably got 2,000 people here. Maybe 2,000 people because we got 300 homes alone in our community, and then outside. So basically, the village. So being called to the barangay for mediation can feel intimidating, right? Because you don't want to be called out, right? If you're like an expat, it's like you got to attend. The barangay captain's not going to be an expat; he's going to be a local, And usually the person filing the complaint is a local, so you might feel like you're at a disadvantage already. That's why you behave. That's why, as an expat, try to be nice to the locals. Try to be good to the locals. That way, they don't take you to the barangay. Your key rights. Your key rights. I'm gonna list out your rights. If you get called out, the written notice. You must receive a clear notice of complaint. Oh, Kal-El's dreaming. Yeah, Kal-El's dreaming. I'm like, it's dreaming, sleeping well. Including who filed it. So it has to be a written complaint against you. And you have the right to be heard. You have to, the complaint, when it reaches the barangay captain, you get a notice, and then you have the right to be heard by the barangay captain. You can explain your side, present evidence, bring witnesses. You can bring as many witnesses as you can to the mediation. It happens at the barangay hall where the barangay captains, each barangay has a barangay hall. The barangay captain has an office, usually like a table there, and you'll all be in that room trying to like mediate, trying to like and you can refuse. You can refuse unfair settlement. You cannot be forced to agree. They can't like sign here. You're gonna owe her money. Sign here. They cannot force you to do that. If no settlement is reached, the case can go to court. So if you don't settle it there, the complaint against you as an expat, the barangay captain, you just can't get along. It's like then your next step would be you can go to court. That person can take you to court. But a lot of times it gets solved by a lot of times a simple apology. That's like what happened here in our community. The expat apologized to the lady. He got a warning. Unfortunately, when you get taken to the barangay, they now have a record of you. right? It's like a complaint has been filed. The barangay will keep a file on you, and you don't want to have a lot of file. You don't want to have a lot of file paperwork against you. That's not a good thing, especially if you're on a tourist visa. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. So just be good. Be good in the Philippines. Filipinos will also be good for you. Confidentiality. Proceedings are private. Private. Consult before signing. If they do want to make you sign something, uh, only agree or sign after understanding everything. Consult a lawyer if needed. You can hire a lawyer. You can hire a lawyer. You can even bring a lawyer if you got the if you got the money. It's like you can even bring a lawyer with you at the mediation. Most people don't. Most people don't because the barangay captain a lot of times is kind of like a good mediator. They get elected. The barangay captain position is an elected official. So a lot of times people select a barangay captain that's like not biased. That's a good people person. Calms everybody down. It's like usually they get into that meeting. They're all fired up. They're like mad at each other. But if you can imagine the barangay captain, he sees this daily. He knows how to like calm nerves, calm down, calm down, everybody calm down. No need to be so angry. No need to be so angry. And unfortunately, I have, unfortunately, I have seen expats, being brought to the barangay level. I have seen that, here in our community, here barangay Huya Huya. Because I'm pretty friends with our barangay captain here. He tells me stories. He tells me stories. But you have rights. It's not like, oh man, I'm host because like I'm fighting a local and the captain is a local. As long as you're in the good, and it goes the other way around too. If you're an expat, you can file. If you're a barangay resident, an expat can get a barangay ID, and I think you should get that anyway. Like the minute you get your ACR card, or the minute you're a resident of the barangay, they will issue. I've known many expats here with a barangay ID. It's another form of ID here. Easy to get. You show up to your barangay hall, bring a copy of your lease, your electric bill, cable bill, or whatever. They'll take your picture. Usually it's 150 pesos per year on your ID. It does expire because barangays, they want to make money too. Yeah. Good to have. Good to have. Good to have a barangay ID. If you're a resident of a clan, it makes sense for you to have a barangay ID because when you go to Boracay, you're a clan resident. You don't have to pay the terminal fee. You don't have to pay the Hey, Leanna. You don't have to pay the environmental fee. You're exempt because you're a clan resident. Easy, very easy to get a barangay ID. Let me just go back here. Oh man, there's a lot of comments already. All right, all right. Peanut. Thank you, Kuya Belus. Hey, Ruben. Hey, good morning, Ruben. Hey, Ruben. If you want to join us for lunch, man, we're eating at John and Elfa's. We're gonna be at John and Elfa's at noon today, Ruben. Daniel, JP, Leanna, me, Denzel. We're all going to lunch at John and Elfa's. 12 at John and Elfa's. If you want to join us, Ruben, if you're not doing anything for lunch, we be bailing on Europe. Yep. We be bailing on Europe. Yep. Asia rules. France gave us French fries. French fry, LOL. I mean, to me, it's like they got to give us something, right? We're spending all this money in Europe. They got to, you know, uh, be our ally. I know here in the Philippines, we Americans and Filipinos, they've been allies for so long. And when American soldiers are here, American people are here, Filipinos have respect for them. It's like we're looking. Most Filipinos, they're looking at Americans as like you're like you're the guide. It's like, hey, help us. Guide us through this defense of the Philippines from China. Emilio, Gina, hi Gina, welcome to Dazzle. How's it going? I'm doing good. I'm doing good, man. I've been spending the since picked up Daniel at the airport. Been hanging out with Daniel the whole time. Today, going to lunch again, hang out again today. Then tomorrow morning, I'll take Daniel to the airport. His flight leaves at 10, I think 10 in the morning. So we'll have to be in Katik Boracay Airport by 8. So more likely we'll leave like at 6:30. 6, I'll pick him up in Calibo and then take him back. He's got to go back to Cebu City because he's got to finish his SRRV. And then once he's finished with his SRV, he'll come back here to Calibo. Hopefully be pretty much, I think it's a done deal. He's going to live and be neighbors with JP. He's going to be JP and Mel's neighbor. He's going to be at La Casa Española. Aloha, Ruben from Jokanu. Pinay Heart, you have to say, I'm one with the Force. I'm one with the Force? What is this? Star Wars? I'm one with the Force. And the Force is with me. I usually feel it around 5:20. Okay, see. Captain Ron's got the Force. He's feeling the Force. Oh, Gino's going to come online. Gino's going to come online. The force of Gino flows through. Oh, thank you. Thanks. So kind, Captain Ron. Appreciate that. Appreciate the kind words. Merle, Kuya Gino. I just came from boogie boarding in Coronado. All right. Great to catch her live. All right. Here in Boracay Island, people do boogie board. Not the best boogie board because we don't get strong waves in Boracay. A lot of people skim board because the beach on White Beach, there's a lot of flat area, very flat and little water, perfect for like skim boarding. And then on the other side on Bolabog Beach, kite surfing. We have probably some of the best kite surfers in the Philippines. A lot of international people from Russia, from Australia, British. I mean, they love Bolabog Beach. Always windy, the windy side of Boracay Island. Lots of, I know professional kite surfers there. And then the locals, of course. They teach you. If you've never been kite surfing, there's locals there that will teach you how to kite surf. You strap a big kite. There's like there's a belt you wear, and it's attached. There's a handle, and it's a big kite, and then you're on a board, and you're just like cruising on the water. JP, Belus, I did not recognize your new. Yeah, I did catch it at first hand, and then I realized it was Belus, but no, I did the same thing. And I should have known because I'm friends with Belus on Facebook, and I saw the change there. Team said hi. Hi, team. Haha, right, Captain Ron. All right, love your channel. Thanks. Thank you, Marshall. Appreciate that. Hey, there's James and Karen. James and Karen's Adventures, their YouTube channel. Good morning, James. James called me last night. It's like I was on the phone, James, with my sister. Dancel and I were talking with my sister because she sent us a balikbayan box, and she was trying to explain all the stuff on the balikbayan box to us. And then I saw, we were on Dazzle's phone, and then my phone started ringing. I was like, "Oh, it's James." I picked it up, and it was about the rocket. It was James was like, "Come in, Ben. There's like a rocket launch in the Philippines." I was like, "What? A rocket launch in the Philippines?" So it's looking like it turns out it's from China. It's a rocket launch in China. Well seen here in the Philippines. Yes, Filipinos are emotional, so be careful, right? Right, Pinay Heart? Especially I think his biggest mistake, Pinay Heart, is he said a bad word to a Filipina. And to me, man, you don't mess with Filipinas, man. If it's a dude, if it's a man to man, hey, it's a man. Sometimes men, get like that. But he got offensive to a lady, So to me, even everybody kind of like, ooh, man, we were all sitting there. It's like, oh, that's not good. And if I was the Filipina that got called out like that, and she's one of our board members, you can't do that. You can't do that. He actually had to go to the. They had a mediation. He had to sign the document, public apology, and everything. And now he's got a record. He's got a record now. If he does anything again, that's not a good thing. Like I said, you don't want it. You don't want any negative paperwork in the Philippines. I don't care if it's barangay level, Numancia police station. Then you just want to be a law-abiding citizen, man. Or at least a law-abiding expat. Law-abiding, not a citizen, but a law-abiding expat. Pinay Heart. Hi, James and Karen. Good morning, J and K. Hey, J and K, what adventures do you guys have planned today? It's hot, man. I don't know. I don't know if James wants to ride his motorbike, man. It's hot already. It's not. It's only 8:11 and it's warm already here, man. I got the fan too hitting me, but it's still. I can. Man, it is like this. This sun is intense. Hello, Jackie. Hello, HD. JP, do I have to get a barangay ID to a clan discount to get? Oh yeah. Well, not really, JP, because on your driver's license, it should show like you're a Calibo resident. So you're now officially JP on your driver's license. You're an Aklan resident. So when you go to Boracay Island, just show your driver's license, and they will not charge you terminal fee, which is 150 pesos, man. And then they won't charge you environmental fee. I think it's 300. 450, man. That's like $9. $8, $9, and so big savings for you now, JP, to go to Boracay since you are now officially an Aklan resident. Pinay Heart. Hi, Brother Vaughn. Pinay Heart. Wow, Daniel and JP are going to be neighbors. That's cool. I know. And also neighbors with Mel. Mel is kind of like Mel's an introvert. He still does work. He's like a computer programmer. He's from Atlanta. He joined us at the party, but he's I guess he likes his privacy. So but they're all there. Yeah, Mel, Edgar was there at one time, but Edgar bought a home in beachfront. Edgar lives on the beach now in New Washington, neighbor town. So I'm sure we're gonna have a get together at Edgar's house. He's having renovations right now at his beach house. And Edgar's like living the dream, man. It's got a nice house. It's got like this kubo, right? I know the Nipa right on the beach. It's got it fenced, bamboo fence. So he's sitting by his kubo watching the ocean, watching the beach, and living the dream, Edgar. So happy for Edgar. Hey Bon, thank you so much. Outstanding. Again and again. All right. Thank you so much, Bon. Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you, my brother. I try to like report the Philippine news, and now I'm focused on that. I'm just like trying to really find out what's happening here in the Philippines because pretty much that's what people want to hear from me. The news in the U.S., news in the Middle East. I think pretty much everybody stays on top of that. It's harder for you guys, I know, to stay on top of the news here in the Philippines. What's happening here? Boots on the ground here. So I'll just keep doing that. I'll keep reporting all the activities happening. And it seems to me there's like a lot of stuff going on here in the Philippines with the crisis, with the military, with the ayuda or aid, with the ayuda, man. There's so many things happening here in the Philippines, and the gas prices, diesel prices, propane tank prices, they're just like skyrocketing. Juan, I know, right? Pinaya, we are blessed when we look out for each other. Amen. Amen to that, Juan. We are, we got to look out for each other. And Michael Manalastas, my brother in Northern California. I'm drinking some of my Vita Coco. No plug, no plug. I'm not sponsored by them, but I love these things. Man. I love this Vita Coco, man. I go through these. When I buy these, I buy 4 or 5 of them, and I go through these at least one of these things a day. Good for hydration. Good for hydration. And then I also buy like the fresh coconut. I'll bring a pitcher. They'll cut it and put all the water in there. But sometimes with the fresh coconut, sometimes it's sweet, sometimes it's sour. It's different taste, different taste. I like how Vita Coco, it's a consistent taste. Pinay, yes, Kuya, Bon. All right, thumbs up, thumbs up. Merle. I'll watch people do kiteboarding in Mission Bay and Pacific Beach. It looks cool. I'd love to try it, but kind of nervous when you're 20 feet high. You see, oh yeah, yeah. See, we don't have that. In Boracay, I don't even have heard of like shark sighting or anything. I'm sure if somebody sees a shark, I'm sure they'll say, but uh, I've never really heard of like a shark sighting in Boracay. Pinay Heart in US, we are divided. Oh, yeah, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate to hear that, Pinay Heart. Nothing much. I know, I know. That's unfortunate that people are divided. All right. I think that's all my news topics. I know Leanna's getting ready. I have to take her to church this morning. Then after her church, we're gonna meet up. We're gonna go pick up Daniel, and then we'll meet up with JP at John and Elfas, and then maybe Ruben. Maybe Ruben will show up there also. JP, my 7-Eleven switched to three. Oh, the small one, the small one. This one is 1 liter, 1 liter. So JP saying they went. There's a mini. There's a mini one like a Vita Coco. That's why JP saying they switched to the little guy. Me, I don't. I buy this JP at SM Cherry. They're actually cheaper to buy at SM Cherry because at SM Cherry, I think they're 119 pesos. At 7-Eleven, they're 140. So you save like 21 pesos by. So when I'm in Calibo, I'll just pull into like SM Cherry and I buy a bunch of them because save me money. But sometimes I run out and then it's like I didn't have time to get it at Calibo. I'll end up buying it here at 7-Eleven and pay extra. Pay extra. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. I love it. I love the Vita Coco. I drink it every day. Really, it's like I drink a lot of water also, but it's a nice change of pace from drinking water. I'll drink like a cup of Vita Coco and then maybe 2 cups of water. It's like you got to hydrate here. You got to hydrate here because if you don't hydrate in the Philippines, you'll get a headache. I noticed that. Or not good. Not good to get It's easy to get dehydrated here because you're mostly sweating. That's why now I'm wearing like this dry fit. This came in the balikbayan box. My sister sent me like a dry fit Under Armour dry fit. My sister, she I just love my sister. It's like she kind of babies me still. It's funny how I'm gonna be 60 years old soon. My sister's gonna be 70 years old, but she still kind of babies me. She's like we have weekly talks, and it's good to have. My sister really growing up. My mom was a single mom. Raising 3 kids in the Philippines. You can imagine how hard that was back in the 60s, being a single mom raising. But my mom was like a graduate of Far Eastern University. My mom had a business mind. So before we left the Philippines, my mom was like a pretty successful businesswoman. That's why I attended private school. Me, my brother, my sister, we attended private school in the Philippines, right? If you can imagine how hard that was for my mom, it's like Letron, even back then, it was not cheap to attend private school in Manila. And there was 3 of us. My mom afforded that, but my mom was always so busy with her business. It consumed her. I didn't have much time growing up with my mom. So my sister kind of acted like my mom, because my sister was 10 years older than me. So I remember my first memories, I was like around 5, 4 or 5. My sister was like 14 to 15. So she acted like my mom. She would like dress me, get me ready for school, it's like did homework with me. So it's amazing how now I'll be 60 here in a couple of months. My sister's going to be 70 and she still does the same thing. That's why she sends me like on the balikbayan box. She knows I like almond joy. She knows I like payday. So she's sending me on the balikbayan box. It really touches my heart because like I'm glad I still have my sister. Let me see. I don't want to like miss anybody. Good AM, Gino fam. Oh, Fortune. Hey, Fortune. All right. My brother in Bacoor in Cavite. All right, Fortune. Late. Oh, yeah. All right. Understand then. I'm about getting ready to go offline because I have to take Leanna. I think her church today is from 10 to 11. So I'm sure she's getting ready, but I also have to take her there and then we'll pick her up and then we'll go to lunch with Daniel and JP and maybe Ruben. Maybe Ruben will show up there too. Hi, Kuya Fortune. Good AM Vaughn, HD, JP, Captain Ron, PBT. Please share Dazzle TV, Kuya Gio's vlogs, and our blessing. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the kind words. Excellent. Want to have a great life. Social Security is more, it's more fun than the, I think so, man. I know it's kind of cheesy. It's kind of cheesy slogan. It's more fun in the Philippines, but I really think it is. I really think, especially if your only retirement income is Social Security, I really think that you're better off in the Philippines than in the United States. If you're on that budget retirement, it's harder to be on a budget retirement in the Philippines. If you got to be in decent health though, because there's no Medicare here, so you got to be in good health. Got to. That's why JP, check him out. Like JP's like walking 5 kilometers a day, man. You got to get healthy, and it's never too late to start. I don't care what kind of situation you are in your life. You can get healthy. You can start walking, doing more activities. And here, because of all the sunshine here in the Philippines, I think it's easier to do here. It's like we got more sunshiny days here than we don't have snow. Nothing to worry. You don't have to get bundled up. Uh, and that should be a priority. If you come to the Philippines, that's why I walk every day. That's why I try to do exercise, eat healthy. It's like health is wealth. You can enjoy more of your life if you're healthy. Good AM, Belu's with the handle, with the new handle. I know the new handle. Good, Michael S. Yes, the Duke of Duma was here. He's HD. Nice to see you with your mom in the fishing video. Oh yeah, yeah. HD and mom was there. That's right. That's right. Hey, Fortune. Good to see you here. All right, Fortune. Good AM, Derek. Pinahart, Ruben, Emilio, Joke, Fortune. Good AM, James and Karen. Happy birthday. Oh yeah, I have to send a greeting. I'll be one of the belated. I forgot that it was just. Oh, today is Daniel's birthday. Today is Daniel's birthday. So at lunch I'll greet Daniel. Happy birthday. Just listening to the stream on the background while doing stuff around the house. All right, HD. I think Edgar going to Yes, Edgar's. That's why I didn't invite him to because he's headed to Malumpati. Malumpati, man, that's an awesome place. Malumpati, if you make it here to Aklan Province, Malumpati is actually in Antique, in Pandan, Antique. But from my house, it takes me an hour to get to It's called Malumpati. Some people call it Cold Springs. Some people call it Malumpati Health Springs. But it's natural water, some of the clearest water you'll ever see. It comes off the ground. It doesn't come from the mountain. It comes cold. The water is like not super cold, but it's not. It's perfect right now. It's like so refreshing. James and Karen and Dazzle and I, we went there. We did a video even. We did tubing. You go in this inner tube down the river. You got a guide with you because some areas got rocks, got not big rapids or anything, but rocks that you have to avoid the rocks, little down, But the guys that guide you, they're behind you. They know how to push you at the right direction. But so much fun. If you ever make it here to Auckland Province, hell, I'll take you. I'll take you to Malumpati. I love that place. I can go there anytime. I love going to Malumpati. So Edgar and his family, they're going to Malumpati today. Fortune, good AM, Michael M. Hello, Fortune, Rance, good day. Edgar will be able to catch fish every day. He really can. He really can. Yeah, you can cast off his kubo. He can cast off his kubo during high tide. He can cast during his kubo, and I'm sure he'll eventually probably start doing that. It is now in the middle of dry season or summer. Definitely, definitely. We're at the time now where this is like the middle of summer. This is summer. That's why now the dry season we're having all these fires now. Unfortunately, that's the thing. All the grass fire that's gonna happen in the metropolis in Manila. The congestion. If you have any kind of fire, it just spreads so quick here because like I said, there's not many. I don't see many fire hydrants here. Even Boracay, when they have a fire in Boracay, it's so hard for them to stop it because Boracay is actually a lot of hills, a lot of like and people living on the side of the hills, and there's no hydrants, so it's got to come from the fire truck, and then there's only one main road, a two-lane road, so they've had some big fires. They've had, over the years, the last 15 years I've been here, Boracay's had big fires. Actually, the new Talipapa, the D Talipapa opened last week. Brand new Talipapa. It's like where you see the fish, you see the seafood, they cook it. The whole area before shops, D Talipapa, it burned. It burned like 7 or 8 years ago. Now they removed it. They refurbished it, brand new looking. D Talipapa is what it's called in Boracay. If you want like the freshest seafood, alive seafood, cook any way you want. If you want it garlic butter, you want it in coconut milk, you want it grilled, you want it fried, they will cook the seafood any way you want. Lobsters, giant tiger prawns. There's, man, all the good seafood in our province goes to Boracay. It's like even like the crabs from Roa City, they end up in Boracay because they can charge you more. They charge the tourists more for the seafood there. Merle, you're blessed to have oh yeah, man. I know that, man. I'm so blessed. It's like I'm grateful for my ate all the time. Man. She's, it's amazing. Albulario. Yeah, the last time I saw my sister actually, and my sister's got a pacemaker and everything. She's got heart condition. But when I went through my cancer treatments, radiation and chemo, 2023 in Iloilo City, my sister flew all the way from Houston to Iloilo City. I mean, that's love right there. Knowing like my sister doesn't travel well anymore. She's gonna be 70 here in a couple of months, but she made that trip for me 3 years ago. That's how. And you got love when it's like that. You got love. Happy birthday, Daniel. All right, everybody greet happy birthday, Daniel. Happy birthday, Daniel, today. I learned about Daniel's birthday. I didn't even know it. I'm sure he didn't want to tell me that it was his birthday, but I knew. But when we renewed his visa, because like we were filling out the form, and I asked that Daniel's like birthday. He goes 4/12. 4/12. That's April 12th. I was like, that's April 12th, man. That's like Sunday. It's like that's how I found out. Ruben, what time will lunch start? 12 noon, Ruben, 12 noon. I have a massage scheduled later. And oh, okay, no worries, man. Do your massage. Do your massage, man. You won't be done until 1. We might still be there at 1, but we'll probably eaten by 1 because, you figure if we sit there by noon, they take our order. It takes like 30 minutes to get your order. I'm sure we'll be there past 1. So if you just want to hang out, Ruben, I know you love the oysters there, man. Man, Ruben is brave too, man. Even before I've had oysters when I was still not allergic. Now I'm allergic to shellfish because of my treatments. But before, I like the Rockefeller, the oyster Rockefeller. Man, I can eat like a whole plate of those, a dozen of those, easy for me before. But Ruben, man, Ruben likes them raw. Man, Ruben eats raw oysters, man. I'm not that brave. I'm not that brave. Even Dazzle, it's got to be steamed oysters for Dazzle. But Ruben, man, Ruben's Hawaiian, man. So he's like old school, man. He likes that raw oyster. Enjoy your massage. Enjoy your massage, Ruben. Enjoy your massage. Happy birthday, Daniel. See you at lunch. Fortune. So my S is 4/6, Jan 4/11. That whoa, I know, right? Everybody's like April, man. Good catch there. Good catch there, Fortune. Captain Ron, happy birthday, Daniel. What a great place. I know, man. And we already took Daniel to that. Man, we went, Captain Ron, we went from the airport to John and Nelfos, our favorite seafood place in New Washington. Awesome seafood. And he already loves, he loved the tuna belly. It's a tuna belly, no bones on it and everything. Grilled tuna belly. And he also liked the rabbit fish. It's called rabbit fish. Here in the Philippines, we call it danggit. danggit, but it's called rabbit fish. Daniel even said, "Does it have bunny ears?" It says rabbit fish. I don't know why they call it rabbit fish. I think Dazzle said the reason they call it rabbit fish is it's kind of like got a buck tooth in the, when you open its mouth, it's kind of like that tooth there, like a rabbit, like a buck tooth rabbit. So I guess that's why they call it rabbit. I don't know. I don't know how they came up with rabbit fish, but it's a really good fish, and we'll have. I think Daniel wanted to try another fish today. They have several good selection of fish, and then oysters, of course. I can't wait to be there without the need of cooking and eating the same every day. So inexpensive to buy a meal there. It is. It's so. Just to give you an example, like for Daniel, he treated Dazzle and I to the lunch when we went there, when we picked him up at the airport, and it was uh, it was the tuna belly, it was the rabbit fish, it was sisig, pork sisig, the oysters, steamed oysters. Daniel tried the oysters Rockefeller, three shakes, like mango shakes. So for three people, and it came out to like 1,700. So 1,700, probably like $30 for three people. So basically, all that fresh seafood, mango shake, right in front of the ocean. We got the ocean wind there. It was like 1,700. It was like $30. Daniel couldn't believe it when he was paying the bill. He was like shocked how inexpensive it was. Happy birthday, Daniel! Happy birthday, beer day. Daniel don't drink. Daniel don't drink. I'm not a drinker either, so we stick to what he tried the watermelon shake. He loved the watermelon shake, and then mango shake. So those are our go to drinks, either watermelon shake or mango shake. He hasn't tried the coconut shake or the dragon fruit. Those are other good shakes. They even have an avocado shake here, and I like the avocado shake here. The only thing with avocado shake is seasonal. They don't have avocados here all throughout the year. Stay blessed, stay humble, everyone, for sure, Merle. Inuman na, that's funny. Inuman na. That's one thing about our expat group. Most of us are non-drinkers. So even during the fishing, most of us were drinking Coke Zero. I didn't drink Coke Zero. I had the Buko. But I bought like 2 liters of the Coke Zero, and that went fast. It's like Happy Sunday, Gino, from Southern Cal, Benny. When you were telling the story about your sister, I was chanting, yeah, 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 man. I get emotional with my sister, man. It's like there a lot of love there with my sister. I bought beef sinigang. Beef? Oh, wow, beef sinigang. Usually here is pork. Pork is shrimp, pork. I don't think I've ever had beef sinigang. Usually, beef here is like nilaga, like bulalo, like kansi, usually with beef. Lots of talents and few green beans. Green beans, yep, because my son wants sinigang. Oh, okay, yeah, we cook a lot of sinigang too. Mostly here in the house, it's either pork sinigang, the rib part, the bone. I like the rib part. I don't like the pork when it's like a lot of meat. I like it like with the bone still, and then fish and shrimp. I can't eat it when they. I'll eat the veggies and the soup because I'm allergic to shrimp now. Have no time to cook. Then I bought pancit, not even bilao. And then, oh man, you got a nice setup there, Pinay. That's like a lot of good Filipino food there with rice. Cost 56 pesos. Oh man, 56, man. That's a lot of money here in the Philippines. And for 50, that's almost like that 3,000 pesos. Man, you can feed a lot of people here with 3,000 pesos. You could it would not surprise me if you could feed 10 people here in a restaurant for 3,000 pesos. Thank you, Brother Gino. All right, all right. I like melon. Oh, me too. I had melon during that 19 Martyrs celebration. I had a good melon shake or cantaloupe. I love that. And then Dazzle just bought me a cantaloupe 2 days ago, and I just opened it and I was just scooping the cantaloupe out of it, eating it from the. I love cantaloupe, man. There's just so many fruits here that I like. I love cantaloupe, watermelon, dragon fruits. One of my favorite. Avocados. There's just so many fruits here that I really enjoy. Fortune, good AM, Benny. All right, Fortune. Captain Rob, my sister is 4-4. Oh wow, April 4. April. Everybody's got all the birthday in April. Good morning, Fortune. Merle, if you're old like me, eat sinigang so you still have asim. You still have asim. Sourness, right? Asim means sourness. So you got Fortune, do you use vanilla extract with your cantaloupe shake? Me, I've done cantaloupe shake, melon shake, but I've never used vanilla extract. That would be a new thing for me. If I usually I just go either I make it with the cantaloupe alone, or I'll put cantaloupe and milk and cantaloupe, on my shake. The juicy fruits come out. Yeah, right, Fortune. Right now, it's like because all the fruits during the summer months, there's so much fruits to come out. That I know pretty soon here, lanzones from Balete, where James and Karen's are. I know Dazzle loves the lanzones, and then the rambutan and lanzones. This is the time of the year that they come out, and we actually drive there to get it there because they have the best rambutan and lanzones in Balete. A few drops make it taste. Oh, all right. I'll have to. I think I have some vanilla extract on the cupboard there, man. I'll have to keep that in mind. Thank you for the tip there. Thank you for the tip, Southern Cal Benny. My sister 4'4" in height, but she's the boss. Yeah, yeah. Same with Dazzle. You guys know Dazzle's not that tall, but she's the boss. Dazzle's the boss, man. That's why she's the sheriff. JP got Dazzle a hat that says sheriff. And I got her a badge. Joe Cano sent a badge. It's like a sheriff badge that the Panay posse calls Dazzle the sheriff. That's a good enhancer. I know I've never thought about it. I never thought about it, Fortune, to put but I have vanilla extract. I know I have one. The little bottle, the McCormick vanilla extract. Also right, Gino, plus milk. Yeah, 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 yeah. I do that, right? The shredded, you either put it on a blender. That's one way to do the cantaloupe shape. Or they also make a drink here where you take the cantaloupe and they have this thing that it makes it like almost like coconut shred or like cantaloupe shred, and you put it in a pitcher. You put milk in it, and man, it's a good drink. It's a good drink. It's a good drink. Cantaloupe and milk. Siniguelas. Do you have there? Um, I don't see it much. I know what you're talking about, Siniguelas. Uh, I'm probably in Calibo. Probably in Cali. There's a fruit stand in Calibo, Fortune. There's a whole stretch. I mean, Siniguelas. The rarer ones, Siniguelas Chico. Atis. Those are kind of rare, and some stuff from Davao like pomelo. Some fruits from Davao. Calibo. Fruit stands. There's like a dozen fruit stands there in Calibo, right on Rojas Avenue on the main road. That's where I would find that if I find Siniguelas. Captain Ron, so is my sister. She tells the whole family what we're doing wrong. What we're doing wrong. Well, my sister's not like that. My sister's so sweet, man. Like I said, my sister babies me, and it's like she's always checking up on me. She was really worried actually when I moved to the Philippines back in 2011. That's March of 2011 is when I moved here to the Philippines. She was really worried because you know, I was moving to Boracay Island. I was moving to Aklan province. I did not know a single person here. We do have relatives in Manila. I have relatives in Bulacan, but that's so far. That's a whole island away, and I'm here in Aklan. But But my sister also knows I was in the military for 20 years. And so I'm used to like starting out new at another country, or, familiar country anyway. I was born here and born and raised in Manila, but still, she was worried. Yeah, she was the one that was worried. But she just told me all the time, just chase your dreams. It's like whatever makes you happy will make Ate happy. Don't use imitation vanilla because it that has propylene glycol. Ooh, propylene. That's the only thing, man. That's the only thing. I don't know if we have any others. I don't know if we ever even have any other vanilla here, man. The only vanilla I've seen here in the Philippines is the vanilla extract, the McCormick brand. That's the only vanilla I've seen here. I've never seen like a vanilla, like what what Belus is planting in Leyte. I've never seen it here. I've never seen any fresh vanilla here. I thought of the 56 will last 4 meals. It was just for a lunch meal, lol. Yes, Chico and Atis, right? Fortune. I love Atis, man. Atis is it's funny. It's got a lot of seeds, but man, it's delicious. It's so sweet, fruit here, and very rare even for Atis. It's not a common fruit. You don't see it, but when I see it, I always buy it. The sinigang is just for one person. The pancit canton can be for two. Then the chicken inasal doesn't even have rice. So I have to buy a separate. Back to cooking again. Back to cooking again. That's funny. Join us for my 21st birthday. Daniel, join us for Daniel's 21st birthday. McCormick brand is expensive. Here is really tiny. It's like a really tiny container of vanilla, and they do have McCormick different brands here, like salt, like different like there's packages, different packages. I think there's taco seasoning that's McCormick. Joke lang. All right, Daniel. Hey, Daniel. We'll pick you up around 11:30. Then we'll head to New Washington, Auckland for our seafood feast. Seafood feast today. Costco has pure vanilla. Yeah. When I go to SNR, I'm gonna be in Iloilo City here with Dazzle in about a week. So when we go, I'll check it out. I'll check it out at SNR if they have a pure vanilla there. It's a big bottle. Yeah, I know, right? Even SNR, that's the thing with SNR. Everything's a big bottle. Even my, which I use anyways, my Sweet Baby Rays. I mean, they got everything's a giant bottle in SNR. But I don't mind it because we don't go often. We maybe make maybe three trips to SNR the whole year. We don't go often. Maybe 3 or 4 trips to SNR. Daniel will learn another term for joke lang. Char. Uh, Most of the expats know about joke lang. Char, I think, is the same, but it's mostly Filipinos, right? Fortune that understands char. That most expats will know joke lang. So if you're an expat, you're around Filipinos, you can use the word char. But most expats I know, they know joke lang. All right, I'm gonna end the live stream right here. I'm gonna have to take Leanna to church, and then after church, we're gonna go to our seafood lunch with Daniel and JP. All right, take care, everyone. I appreciate everyone's time. Thank you always for supporting us. We really appreciate everyone's support. Thank you for the super chat, the ones that gave super chat. Bon, give the super. Thank you so much. Advance happy 10th. Oh yes, our 10th April 19th is our 10th next Sunday. Next Sunday is our 10th wedding anniversary. She deserves that iPhone watch. Yeah. I'm gonna get her the iPhone watch. I don't want to be in trouble, Merle. I don't want to be in trouble, Merle. She deserves it more than man. I wish I can give more to Dazzle. She's been a blessing to my life. Thank you so much, everyone. Everyone, have a good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Everyone, stay blessed. Stay blessed.